cloud storage problem, this is really what it boils down to for me. This is something that it boils down to me. I feel that I get messages like this all the time. So, okay, so our YouTube is broken, so we've moved everyone to Instagram. So sorry about that. YouTube failed today, so sorry about that. So everyone's on Instagram. So hopefully you're on Instagram and you can hear me and see me. I apologize for the technical issue. My apologies to you on that. So back to the story here on Instagram. So if you're like me, you've had stories like this where you get these messages where it says your Dropbox full, your Google Drive's full, your iCloud's full, Frame.io's full. These are all wants to buy more storage than they want, because one of the problems with cloud companies that I really dislike is that they make you predict or buy ahead of time how much storage you think you're going to need. Think about that. How do you know how much storage you're going to need this year? You have to buy it ahead of time, and you can't even buy it. You can only rent it, right? And so you rent storage month over month, and you're supposed to predict how much storage you need. And these cloud companies get to rent you that storage, whether you use it or not. I mean, think about it. It's like paying for a hotel next year, and you might not stay in the hotel, and you don't know how many nights you're going to need, and they're going to charge you today for it, right? It's just a business model that's very powerful. It's been very successful. I respect it. I've been a beneficiary of it personally, but I don't think it's great. I think there's something better. I think there's a better way. And the better way is not to rent cloud storage and predict that and guess it and upload to it. The answer is to use your own storage. And one of the reasons, actually there's 3 reasons this is true. It's because camera files are too big. You're always shooting new cameras. This is a Blackmagic. I know on Instagram it's gonna be hard to see. This is a Blackmagic 12K camera. You got cameras that shoot really high quality files. That means, how are you gonna put it in the cloud? Number 2, your internet. It's just not fast enough. Most of us don't have exceptional internet, and that's a real bummer. So the internet just isn't good enough for a lot of us, and it's really expensive to upload. And then it's too expensive. Cloud storage is too expensive. Captain Jack Cannon says, we love the LucidLink workflow, but we don't love the price. 100%. I'm a LucidLink user, Jack. If you look here, I'm a Lucid user. And so I love the product. It's amazing. It's great. I love the people there, and I love the technology behind it. But what I don't love about the LucidLink experience is the price. $72 per terabyte, give or take. So there's my LucidLink logging in right now. So I am a user. So Jack is asking what he's curious as to how we integrate Strada into our next project. Well, here's the thing. Strada is a new product. We launched this product in April, so this is new. And so we're building a pipeline to eventually give you the LucidLink experience, except it's your storage. So you'll have a virtual file system through Strada, but you don't have to upload to a cloud. You can use the NAS or the SAN or the RAID or the drive that you're using right now. Because my guess, Jack, is that everything that you have in Lucid is also on a hard drive. Plus, very few people have raw files on Lucid. It's very rare, right? Because the storage is so expensive and the internet is so limited that you don't actually put raw files up there. Which, Jack, if you're willing, I'd love for you to be a tester of this with Strada. I would love you to be a volunteer, because I can actually show you an example of how you would use Strada in a direct-to-edit workflow. It would not be the same as Lucid today, but we've got something, and we're taking steps to give something way better and way less expensive. And so if you're willing, Jack, I'd love to invite you to volunteer and help me out, do a live demonstration. It would be great. But essentially, because camera files are too big and the internet's too slow and cloud storage is too expensive, the cloud is just really limited. And I just really have a big problem with that. So I want to change that. A lot of these great products, Frame.io, Drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, WeTransfer, these are all great tools. I'm a customer of almost all these products. They're awesome. These are great tools. But here's one of the reasons that I have a frustration with my workflow. And that's because these files are so big. Our files that we shoot are so big, we can only afford to put a few of them in the cloud, which means most of the media, ask yourself this question, is most of the media you have unavailable in the cloud? Probably, right? Probably only about 10% of media that you have is in the cloud. Most of your media is probably not in the cloud. It's probably stored on a RAID or a SAN or a NAS or a hard drive or some sort of several drives, right? And so that's the truth. Race Mode on Instagram says, we have the raw files on Lucid. It gets expensive. I use a PC workflow. Race Mode, that's awesome. Like putting raw files in Lucid is really expensive, and that's impressive that you do that. Here's one of the problems. If you're putting raw files in it, you're in the minority, but that's awesome. That works if you've got really good bandwidth and you've got a lot of money to store that. But here's the thing. Are your raw files in Lucid from 5 years ago? Probably not. You probably pull the raw files out and put them on a drive somewhere, right? So when you're dealing with workflow and you need footage from years ago, you have to reload it back into Lucid. With Strada, it's always available. See, with Strada, everything that you have on a hard drive is accessible. Everything. You can watch it, you can view it, and you can transfer it. You can share it, and you don't have to upload it. And you already have it on storage that you've paid for. So Strada with Lucid is a great combination. Strada with Frame.io is a great combination. But there are tools and techniques that we're deploying that are going to make Strada even better. And we know how to do this, and we're moving fast. And so today, I want to invite you, if Race Mode, you want to join us, or Jack, you want to join us to do a live demonstration. I'd love to have one of you join us and help us out here. The Digital Den on YouTube says egress is a major problem with the cloud. You're right. And uploading files is also a problem. So Strada is a very interesting technology. Digital Den, thank you for saying that. We'd love to have you demo it with us. If you're willing to try this, just send an email to my brother. There's his email. I'm looking for a volunteer to prove this out. I will literally connect you to 100 terabytes of footage, and I will literally shoot camera files directly to you, and you'll be able to view them in an instant. And none of it's using the cloud. And Digital Den mentions that egress is a major problem with the cloud. Egress and sometimes ingress, this is the process of uploading to a cloud or pulling it out. Mainly, the clouds do not want to charge you to put things in them. They kind of give you that for free, but they charge you to pull it out of them. That's the egress. That is one of the most expensive parts of cloud interactions, plus the storage. With Strada, there is no cloud storage. There is no egress, and there's no ingress either. So there's no pricing for that. We don't have elements in our pricing page that factor in storage or that. So it's really, really different. So we want you to connect all of your media to Strada, and I want to prove that out. So I'm looking for a volunteer that wants to help us prove this today, and would love to invite you to do that. Now, if you're a fan of watching files on YouTube, I'm told our YouTube is back up, which is great. If you're a fan of watching files on YouTube, you've got to watch episode 45. You should also watch episode 44. Episode 44 is a killer episode. If you're a fan of Mac or you hate Mac, you should watch what we got an Apple Studio Ultra to do, an M3 Ultra. It's amazing. That's episode 44. But episode 45 is our direct to edit workflow. And it's the first time we tried, we think it's a technology that almost has never been used before, which we called the episode push. And push means we actually pushed the files from the camera directly to the editor. And it looks like we've got Mock from Vietnam. And we've had Mock before, which is amazing. And he may be willing to help, which would be amazing. And so I might be able to send files to Vietnam today. We'll see if that works. So stick with us, because I'm going to try to shoot files from this camera to Vietnam if we can get that to work, which would be amazing. But you should watch episode 45, because what it does is it allows us to show you how to actually connect the camera to Strada. And Blackmagic cameras work, but also cameras that record to media cards. So this is from a camera that records to media card. That works as well. We show both workflows. But it's really, really powerful, really fun, really easy. And so I want to encourage you to check out episode 45. It's really fun. And if you're into workflow, there's no YouTube channel in the world that goes to the depth that we do for workflow. I love to tell workflow stories, and I love to tell them well. And it's for a small group of people. Most people do not want to tune in and watch a workflow story. I know that. But if you're into workflow and you want to learn how to improve your workflow, our Strada Tech YouTube channel is amazing. And some people say it's like the best workflow YouTube channel there is. So we'd love for you to check it out. Episode 45 is amazing. Now, The other thing is we're coming to Amsterdam in 4 weeks. So if you're in Europe, there's no excuse for you not to get a ticket to go to Amsterdam. You could go out. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's the IBC conference. It is amazing. If you've not been there, you got to go. Amsterdam in September is beautiful, and you can get an Airbnb or a hotel. We'd love to see you there. If you have been to IBC, you know it's awesome. So you're probably going, but it's very easy for you to get there. So I want you to come see the Strada booth. We are excited to be having this big booth, and we need you to come by. The booth is big. We had lines at IBC, at NAB, and we had lines at Cinegear in June. And so some said, I couldn't talk to you guys because the lines were too long. So we got a bigger booth, and we're taking a big risk. So I really want you to come and visit us because we need you to come fill up our booth. So please come visit us at IBC. And if you got airline miles and you live somewhere else, use your airline miles, get to IBC. It's an amazing event. You'll meet people, you'll have fun, you'll learn a bunch of stuff. There's great panels, great experiences, and Amsterdam's a great host, great town. So we would love to see you there. Plus, we have time on our calendar. If you're going to IBC and you want to have a private meeting with us, book it on our calendar. Pete can put that link in the chat so that you can sign up and you can actually schedule time on our calendar to meet us at IBC. We'd love to have that happen. We'd love to talk to you in person. Okay, I think we've got our volunteer. That'll be coming up pretty soon. That's Mock from Vietnam, if that's going. And so that's pretty exciting. So this is hopefully going to be good. Now, one of the drives that I'm using is a Pro Grade 10. This is, I can sort of lift it up here. Hopefully it's still plugged in. But this is my Pro Grade. What I love about this is it's USB 4 and it is 2,000 megabytes per second and it's 8 terabytes. And they just released a 16 terabyte version in the same form factor. Plus, I have a magnet on this one. So it literally just magnetizes to my monitor. So wherever I go, I've got 8 terabytes of SSD storage. And I am going to add a 16 terabyte version because I love it. And so I love editing on my laptop. I love being on the go with my laptop, but I just need more storage. So I've been using these Pro Grades and they're great. And the 16 terabytes just about to come out, which is pretty exciting. Now, I mentioned to you episode 44 on YouTube, the push story. This is what's really important. What we go over in that story is a cloud workflow. A proxy card workflow and a integrated proxy workflow. I'm a big fan of cameras that shoot proxy files, but a lot of people aren't. And the more I talk to people, I'm starting to wonder, why don't more people use proxy workflows? I find it odd. I've been using proxy workflows for years, but people are either got burned by it or they're afraid of it or they don't understand it. And I'm not saying that proxy workflows were always perfect, but they're really reliable, really, really good. A proxy workflow simply means the camera shoots 2 files at the same time. You edit one that's smaller, and then you relink to the bigger one when you're done. That's it. If you struggle with relinking, you need to practice on that. There's a lot of YouTube channels on how to do that. If you don't trust proxy files, try it again. Figure out, did you do something wrong, or was there a limitation that you could eliminate? I love Red Raptor, and I love the Red DSMC2. Those are the old Red cameras, but the old Red cameras shoot RAW and ProRes. They made it so easy. So if you have a Gemini or a Helium or a Monstro, all of those are amazing cameras. They still make incredible pictures. I have a Helium, and I use it all the time for RAW plus proxy. It's amazing. But the Raptor also does RAW plus proxy. It can do 8K RAW plus proxy. And so in our story, we show that workflow. But what Blackmagic's doing, which is really cool, is they're doing proxies with SMB. So let me show you first the Raptor. The Raptor workflow is you take your camera and you connect that to a DIT card when you take the card out. Now, you probably have separate sound as well. So you have a sound card, you have a camera card, you give that to the DIT. But what happens here is the DIT connects to Strada. And when the DIT connects to Strada, they can push the proxy file through the Strada peer-to-peer network directly to the editor. Think about that. Push. Push, this word I'm using, is to transfer, to deliver, to upload, to push. That's what I'm saying here. And what I mean by that is instead of having the files uploaded to a cloud and then the editor downloads, or instead of having the DIT put them on a drive and then the editor waits for that drive to show up, Strada's peer-to-peer network allows you to take those proxy files and push them onto the hard drive of the editor, deliver them to the editor. The editor just sees files appearing on their drive. And I'm telling you, this really works. It's real. Real Strategy on YouTube says, will we be able to run the Strada agent on a NAS someday? Maybe one that has an encoder built in like a Synology. Real Strategy, the answer is yes. We have built Strada completely based on APIs. All of the technology we have that can be based on API is, which means we've put in the hooks so that we can eventually connect to technologies like Synology and allow those to be able to be integrated. That's what we're going to do. Now, today, we're a small business, and so we're focusing on using the agent running on a Mac or Windows host computer in order to connect that through. So I want to say, Real Strategy, we want that to be the case. And if you grow with us, if you use the product and you pay for the product and you tell your friends and you invite your friends, then we'll be able to hire more people and we will make that work so it works headless in a Synology. That will happen. But real Strategy, I also want to point out something else. I want you to also not just think about a workflow that might be considered a little more traditional, which is where you are using the file and you're connecting to the Synology, and that's where the agent lives. You got to think bigger than that. See, the idea is not that just the agent lives on a Synology. The idea is that it's on every computer. It's a peer-to-peer network. So you can literally have a hard drive on a USB stick. You can have folders on your desktop, and you can just drag files onto folders on your desktop. I know you're not going to edit raw files that way, but you're always delivering documents, PDF, photos, little sketches, decks, things like that. All that stuff gets transferred all the time. And the Synology is not always the place for every single asset. Every computer has their own component. And if you go to a colorist or a sound mixer or a sound designer or a composer or a graphics designer or an animator, they're all going to have different computers. It's about connecting computers to each other. So the Synology is a key component to this workflow, but it shouldn't be considered the hub, right? Like, think bigger than that. Think of everybody being their own hub and not just having one single source of truth. People that have big investments in NASs like Synology think they want the NAS to be the single source of truth, but you can't. You can't make a drive the single source of truth because everybody else makes new material. And when they make new material, it's not on that NAS. And they're making new material all the time. People are always exchanging big and small files. And so think about the agent everywhere. And when you let your mind explore that, you start seeing that, it gets even more exciting. So I appreciate Real Strategy. Yes, we want to build a headless integration with Synology. We're big fans of that. That is hopefully going to happen next year if we grow. But we have more work to do. And we also want you to install it and put it on more computers and invite more people. Seth says, do you see whether it's mostly new filmmakers or old timers who don't like proxies? I don't know. I couldn't say a pattern. I'm not aware of a pattern, Seth. I actually think proxies workflows have been around for a long time. Now, most of the time, proxy workflow is used in the more professional space, but the proxies are generated from the raw file. So you take a raw file, you render a proxy, and then you edit off that. That's normal. I think in the mid-market and the prosumer space, they don't make proxies. They just edit the native files directly. And so maybe they got burned on proxy workflows, or they don't know how to relink effectively or set up their sequences and timelines so that a relink doesn't require them to redo much work. That's one of the reasons I love Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is so good at working at any resolution. I can have a timeline at 1080 and 4K and 8K, and everything gets adjusted automatically. It's so good at doing those conversions. So if I work with 1080 proxies and I relink to 8K raw files, I don't know how it's done. It kind of just like happens, and I don't even have to think about it. It's so good. And so like, I really, really love Final Cut for that reason. Premiere can get into pickles when you're changing resolutions with sequences and relinking. Things get out of whack. And like, you in Premiere, you're in like a 4K sequence and like the image is zoomed in, or you're in a 1080 and it's too big, or you're in a 4K and it's too small. Like that stuff doesn't happen in Final Cut. And so that's one of the challenges. But there are ways around that. And the Premiere community knows how to get around that stuff. So you just got to ask people how to work with that. Because when you're working with proxies, it almost always means you're working with 2 resolutions at the same time. And you got to just factor that into your workflow. Okay. Peter, we close with mock. Is that working? Let me know. The other thing.
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay, cool. The other workflow, which I'm going to set up here, and then we're going to go to mock in Vietnam, which is amazing because that's like 7,000 miles away from me, which is going to be an awesome experiment, is the Blackmagic workflow. So the Blackmagic workflow uses what's called an SMB mount. SMB stands for Service Message Block. And what that is it's actually a pretty old networking protocol that allows you to wirelessly or wired, you can do it hardwired or wireless, you can connect a computer through a local area network, the files on the card, which means I can connect this camera to my computer without pulling the card out. This is one of the power moves of Blackmagic, and I think a lot of people don't realize this. Some of you are seeing how much work Blackmagic's doing to build their cameras to be better and better. This is one of the features they put in that's amazing, and very, very few companies have a technology like it. So you connect the camera to the DIT card, which could just be a laptop, and it is connected over SMB. So I can wirelessly see the files, and then you can use Strada to reshare that directly to the editor. Now, what's crazy here is you got to look at this slide, but you got to imagine the files are actually transmitting from the camera to the editor. Let me say that again. The files do not go from the camera to the DIT cart to the editor. They go from the camera to the editor. And the DIT cart in this case is just hosting the SMB mount, and it's establishing the connection. You could think of the DIT cart in this configuration as a relay. It's a relay from the camera to the editor, and it makes that connection, and it's totally seamless. And I'm going to be able to do it for you live right now, which is really, really cool. Here's the SMB mount. You need to go into your Blackmagic app. There's an app for Blackmagic cameras, and you need to turn on SMB. There's a little button for file sharing SMB. It defaults to off when you buy the camera or do a factory reset. So you need to set that up correctly. And then when you enable that, you're able to do that. SMB, Service Message Block, standard protocol, connects computers via shared networks, and it's available on most Blackmagic cameras, certainly cameras made in the last 5 years. So you might have this option in your workflow and you didn't even know it. And it's really, really powerful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide this and this, and I'm going to go to my desktop. So this is my desktop right now, and I am going to type in Command K. And when I go to Command K, I see here the Blackmagic Ursa Cine, because it's on the same network. I am on a Wi-Fi network. You have to trust me, I'm on a Wi-Fi network. The camera here, I don't know if you can see, the camera is on a wireless network as well. There's no cables plugged into this camera. It's just wireless right here. And so I'm going to hit connect. And when it connects, watch what happens. I'm going to get a drive right here. So now I've got a drive literally mounted on my desktop. That is the camera card. That's the Blackmagic Ursa. So the Ursa is now mounted on my desk. I can see it here as well. And in the proxy folder, there's nothing because we haven't shot any files yet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go to Strada. And remember, Strada has an agent. This is the agent. You run the agent on Mac and Windows, and that's how you connect hard drives into the Strada network. Now, I still will go through a process of inviting people. So connecting a drive or a camera doesn't automatically make anyone be able to see it. You get to control who sees it separately in Chrome. I'll do that in a second. But first, I'm going to go here, and you see there's the drive MM1. Remember, MM1 is this drive. That is the Blackmagic camera connected over SMB. Here is in Strada. And when I select that, now Strada is allowed to mount the Blackmagic SMB drive. So if I go to Strada and I hit refresh, we will see MM1. So I've got MM1 right here. And now I'm going to go into the proxy file, and I have the ability to get in here and see my files right here. So this is really, really powerful here. Let me just restart my agent. I'm just going to restart my agent here and just get everything up to date here. There we go. There's our agent. Let's make sure everything's good. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to go into the proxy file, and I am going to add our friends. So in here, this is where you can see different folders, different drives. So I have the ability to see other drives here, and I can see other computers that are online. I can see other computers in my network. And so this is the ability to do that. I need to quit my agent one more time because I'm not seeing the folder show up. So bear with me here. Let's try that a second time. If I see these animation folders, it means it's not connecting correctly. So we definitely want to see those folders. There they are. Okay, now we're good. So let me go in here and let's do gmail.com. And I'm going to set Mock as an editor. And now I've invited him. So it's in this invitation process that I am able to invite people to Strada. So Mock, I think I have to stop sharing my screen. So what I'm hoping you're able to do is start sharing your screen. And you're in Vietnam, which is amazing. And I'm going to start rolling a take here. There is Mock screen right there. Oh, there it is. I could see this is happening. So we're seeing Mock screen right here. This is take one. We're seeing Mock screen right there. And if I zoom out, we can see my setup here. I'm going to cut. I could see Mock has got his stuff. Let me just roll a second take. Here is take two. This is not going to be the most pleasant angle, but now we're in take two. This is me in my setup, in my room, shooting a take directly to Mock right now. And I'll hit cut. And then I will, okay. So we are all, for those of you that are just joining us, we are connected now to Mock in Vietnam. I am in Los Angeles. That's very far away. There's an entire ocean between the two of us. And Mock, if you just refresh your browser, oh, can you do this in Chrome, Mock? We need you to do this in Chrome if you can. If you can't, we understand. But in Safari is going to have problems. But if you can only do it in Safari, we can see the files. It will not stream the files most likely. So if you click on that, it probably won't play, Mock, is my concern. But you're willing, you could try, but it probably won't play it back because Safari sucks. But yeah, so it failed because it's Safari. But if this were Chrome, it would be able to play those files back. I don't know if Mock wants to go through that. Yeah. So we'll next time, Pete, we'll make sure that they got Chrome available. Yeah. So Mock, while you go through and install Chrome, oh, he's good. He's good. He's doing that right now. So we could definitely tell Mock is authentically in Vietnam, and he's able to log in very quickly. Cool. So as Mock does this, I'll shoot a third take here. This is take three, and we can see I've got my iPad here, and the camera that I shoot everything with is the Panavision DXL. So you can kind of see the DXL right there, and there I am right on the monitor right there. And that's my my Zoom camera is actually a Panavision camera. And I'm thankful to them for letting us use that. Okay, cutting take three. Okay, so now Mock's in Chrome. And now what that means is he should be able to stream the files. He hits allow. There we go. So Mock is now going to hit play. And when he plays that back, he is literally playing back the file in Vietnam. But people, the file is in the camera. The file's in the camera. I didn't download anything. Remember, I didn't download anything. And if he switches to take two, starts playing, there's take two. You can see that. There we go. Like that's playing back in Vietnam. Smooth. Click on take three there, Mock, and hit the F as in Frank key. F as in Frank. And it should go full screen. So now we can see full screen. I know it's a little jerky, but there's my Panavision camera. I just shot this. You guys think about this. Who in the world has a workflow this fast? It's in the camera and it's transmitted directly to Vietnam. I invited Mock. He can play the files back. He can see them. It's amazing. Okay, Mock, hit escape. And now what I want you to do is I want you to select those 3 video files. You can shift select. Yep. There you go. Now right click and I want you to transfer. Oh, I want you to hit transfer. Can you hit cancel? Yeah. Can you hit transfer? And can you transfer that to your desktop? Yeah. If you do that and hit transfer here, let's try that. And let's see what happens here. Yeah. Mock knows to go right there and we'll give it a second and we should see, give it a second. You can hit that. There come the file. If you click the upper right of Strada, it just takes about 5 seconds to show the product. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. It just takes a few seconds for it to pop up, but it's done. It's already done. So there are the files on Mock's desktop. So when people earlier were asking about a workflow for editing, this is it. I just shot 3 files. Mock viewed them instantly and then transferred them himself. He transferred them himself and they're still in the camera. The camera could be rolling right now. I can roll a 4th take. So now we're rolling take 4 and he can go through these files and he's pulling them while the camera's rolling. Do you get it? Like, that's crazy. I don't know how smart everybody is on this watching us right now, but you've never seen anything like this. It's crazy. This is true collaboration workflow on an international scale, a huge scale, really, really powerful, really exciting, really, really great. Okay, that is the end of take 4. I'm cutting take 4. And so Mock, if you refresh your browser, you'll see take 4 appear. And then when you see take 4, you could grab that file. Now, see, Mock, I had you transfer. I want you to transfer because it's a higher quality experience. And so it will actually improve the workflow quite a bit. So there you can see the file transferring right now. And there it is. It's done. So this is take 4. And so you can see how fast. And now remember, the Blackmagic camera shoots 12K raw files, but it also gives us a 1080 proxy. And so what Mock is pulling are the 1080 proxy files. And it's so amazing. He's pulling this across the Pacific Ocean. And I'm so thankful for him testing that. So I want to do one more thing here, Mock. We are going to add you to one more situation. So I'm going to go here. And so what I'm about to do now is add Mock to one more drive. So if you refresh your browser one more time, check this out. If you see here, I've showed you that there's a test footage folder here. So you can see that quickly. I have been able to show, add Mock to another experience. So if Mock, you click on number 5, folder number 5, what Mock is going to do here is he can play one of these takes. Look at the size of these files, 27 gigs, 26 gigs. These are ProRes 4K files. And so if you hit play, what Mock's able to do here is demonstrate that he's able to play back ProRes 4K from my house to his house over the Pacific Ocean, and there's virtually no latency. And he's literally playing it off of this drive on my desk. This is the pro grade drive that I was talking about earlier, and it's blinking because Mock is playing this file off of my drive right now. So it's amazing that he's able to do that. So whether it's playback of ProRes over long distances, connecting SMB, watching those files, or actually doing the transfer, it works and it's amazing. Mock, I want to thank you for doing that. You're amazing. This is just an incredible experience that this even works. And you're a stand-up guy for jumping on live with us without rehearsal and without practice. And you're just clicking around. You obviously know Strada very well. I'm thankful for you talking about the product to your community. That means a lot to us. Seriously, thank you for that. We love you guys way out there on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, and we hope to meet you one day in person. So thanks, Mock, for sharing that. I'll let you stop sharing your screen, and I'll finish up the day. I just want to everybody say thanks to Mock for doing that awesome demo, transferring Blackmagic all the way across the ocean, which is just so incredible. Jack says, let me just reshare my screen here and we'll go back to this. Let's see here. Okay, we'll come into this. Jack says, what other cameras apart from Blackmagic has this process been tested with? Well, Jack B, you got to watch episode 45 on YouTube. Check it out. I can do this with any camera. I've done it with FX3. I can do this with Fuji HX2S, and I can do this with Red Helium and Red Raptors. I show in episode 45 Red Raptor and Blackmagic, but a Red Raptor is using a card download using the proxy file. Whoop, I almost dropped it. We're using the proxy file to do that. So Jack, you can use this with almost any camera. I recommend cameras that shoot proxies, and a lot of those cameras do that, and you should work that out. You should try that out because it's pretty awesome. Jack also asks, we are testing a Ubiquiti NAS right now. So once you start looking at NAS deployment, I hope you include them. It's currently loading up with no issues right now through Strada with your M4 Mac Mini as a host. There you go. You should be able to connect that entire Ubiquiti in a few seconds, and you should be able to share that out to your collaborators and play it back. That's amazing. And imagine, Jack, on your next shoot, if it's a Blackmagic camera, you can literally deliver the files onto the Ubiquiti from the set over a hotspot. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It works. It really works. And it really activates post-production in a whole new way. So I want to encourage you to try that. So that's great. Edmund says, Jack Blair volunteered to help out with a demo. Thank you, Edmund and Jack Blair, for both wanting to volunteer. Please come back next Tuesday. We will do you next Tuesday, okay? Come back next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. I'd love to do it with you guys. That sounds like fun. Edmund and Jack, thank you for signing up. But next week, we'll do that. We did Vietnam today. Pretty awesome, pretty smooth, pretty fast. Hopefully, you see something you've never seen before. That was pretty compelling, if I do say so. Okay, what have we got available? We've got the YouTube. I'm sorry. We've got the Windows here available today. If you're on Windows, please test it and please give us feedback. Feedback comes to us in Discord, so you need to pop up in Discord and give us feedback on that. Also available today, we've got agent-to-agent transfers. Remember, when I was dealing with Mock in Vietnam, I asked him to transfer the file, not download it. Why transfer over downloads? I think I'll spend more time on that next week, but let me just give you the short answer. A download is letting the browser be in charge of the transfer. By using Strada transfers, when you click on an asset, I'll just do it real quick. I can click here and say I have an option to download or transfer. If I transfer, then Strada is in control of the transfer. If I hit download, then Chrome is in charge. And the simple answer is Strada can do retry logic, which means if a transfer fails or there's an interruption or you close your browser window, the transfer is going to stop. But if you do a Strada transfer, which is agent to agent, it will pick up where it left off. So you can have the internet stop. You can close your laptop. You could restart your laptop, and it'll just pick up where it left off and keep going. So it's really awesome. So that's why you're going to want to do that. So agent-to-agent transfers. I know you're tempted to hit the download button. Don't hit the download button. Get the other person that you're collaborating with to install an agent and do an agent-to-agent transfer. It's going to be a way better experience, and you want to learn the habits of doing it that way. You want to transfer files, not download them. It's way better, way more powerful. We also are improving transfers. What available today, you saw when Mock did a transfer, he has this window up here. So you get to see your transfers here. But what we are going to be adding, if you look closely here, is we're adding a button for your jobs and others' jobs. Because if you're pulling files off of someone's machine, they need to know it. So you're going to be able to see others' jobs, other people doing transfers, and your job. So that's coming over the next 4 weeks. So it's a very exciting update. So you can really see the interaction and what's happening as files are moving. And you'll be able to see who's transferring what. And it's going to be really, really powerful. So that's coming very, very soon. And then we are improving invite permissions. Today we have 2 permissions. We have viewer and editor. And a viewer can see the files and they can download them. An editor can actually move the files, can actually transfer the files. That's a different experience. But then we're going to be adding two more layers: view only and download, so you can control who can download and who cannot download. So those will be added. So we will eventually have multiple layers of permissions. Today we have 2. We'll add 2 more over the next 4 weeks. So this will be very good for those of you that need to restrict download entirely. That's an option that we're delivering. So last thing I want to talk about is the price. So we're going to go to price here. And I hope everybody understands this is really exciting. So we are free right now. Strada is so new. We don't charge for it. It's unlimited for an unlimited time, for a limited amount of time. It's unlimited for a limited amount of time. So we are going to start charging on September 22nd. That means you still have an entire month of totally unlimited everything, unlimited invites, unlimited transfers. What happens when we go to paid is you can still have a free account, and a free account allows you to invite 3 people. So you can have 3 people, and they can have 3 people, and they can have 3 people. And you can connect as much as you want. Someone earlier had a Ubiquiti NAS. You can connect that entire NAS on the free account. That's totally fine. You can view it. You can invite that to 3 people. You can share those files. That's all free. But if you want to transfer files, you can only transfer up to 15 gigabytes per month if you need to move those files. So for some people, that gives you enough to be able to test it and get to know it and try it out. And if you're just a recipient on the Strada side, so if you're just watching files and maybe someday commenting on them, then the free account will be fine because you can look at files, you can watch them from someone else's machine, and you can make comments. That's all coming for free. But the basic plan means you can invite 10 users and you can transfer up to 250 gigabytes a month. So for $8, if you're doing proxy transmissions like the Blackmagic I showed, $8 a month allows you to transfer proxies all month long because you're never going to generate more than 250 gigs of proxies in a month. That's very unlikely. So you can have 10 people pulling and pushing and sharing files, and each person only has to pay $8 to move a quarter of a terabyte. It's really great. It's really inexpensive. And so that's really powerful. But if you're going to move raw files and you want totally unlimited access, it's only $24 a month. And the reason that's so great is you could share a Ubiquiti NAS that's 250 terabytes for $24 a month. If you did that on a cloud, you would pay thousands and thousands of dollars a month to store 250 terabytes of cloud storage. It would be thousands of dollars a month. But with Strada, $24, unlimited users, unlimited transfers. So if you're into raw transfers and you need to access and move a lot of raw files, $24 allows you to do that. And if you're doing proxies, $8 a month allows you to do that. You can also combine these plans together. So you could have some of your people on $8, some on $24. It's totally fine. And if you have a team and you want to invite a bunch of users on a team, you can buy in bulk. So you can buy 10 users or more in bulk, and those licenses are transferable. So you could switch them out with contractors or people that come and go if you wanted to. So this is the pricing plan that's coming. Strada will be the cheapest, fastest way to transfer files in the world because we don't have a cloud. All the other products that charge you for transferring have to store it in a cloud. So their prices per terabyte keep going up. With Strada, if you're on the unlimited plan, there's no limit to how many terabytes you can transfer. And so if we're successful in building this business, these prices are going to go up, folks. So if you're an early adopter, we want to reward you as an early adopter by signing up today and being a part of the early adopter program, locking in your rate on September 22nd, because if the prices go up, I want you to get locked in and get rewarded for being an early adopter because it's going to go up as we grow. DM Colorist on YouTube says, I spent a year looking at technology like this for a project a few years back. I learned all about different protocols to move files. Strada is by far the easiest and most cost-effective. Hey, DM Colorist, what a way to end our morning. That is amazing. Thank you for saying that. Strada is by far the easiest and most cost-effective. Well, I agree with you. It is easy and it is cost-effective, almost too cost-effective. So what we're trying to do is build something different, and we're trying to make it affordable. We're trying to make it easy and elegant, but we can't do it without you. That's why we want everyone to join our Discord and be a part of our community. Pete can put a link to the Discord. We need you using the product. So DM Colorist, I don't know if you're a user yet. I need you to join it. I need you to try it, and I need your feedback. If you're a colorist, you're moving big files all the time. You need to show ProRes. We've got mobile experiences coming very soon, wink, wink. We've got commenting coming soon, wink, wink. These are features you're going to need, but I need your feedback now to make sure the product is stable and does what you need. We can't grow this business without users, and we need professional, experienced people to give us that feedback. So please join, please try it. Please work through the early adoption problems that all startups have, but give us that feedback because we can fix anything that we know about. So we need your feedback, and then we can grow, we can hire more people, we can build more features, and we can build them faster. So with that, everybody, this was a great morning. I wanted to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry about the YouTube blip earlier, but I think it all worked out in the end. We are so excited here. I'm thankful for Mock in Vietnam for being able to help us do this as well and make a transmission all the way to Vietnam and a live demo like that. I love those. I love those. I never know where we're going to go. We always go on a trip every Tuesday morning, and I never know where that trip's going to take us. Today it was to Vietnam, and I'm thankful for it. I think that's what I'll have for lunch. All right. I hope everybody has a great week, everybody. We will see you on Discord. Bye-bye.